What is going on, everybody? It's Brian from Brian Loves Bonsai, and I am back today with another video for you. It's repotting season, so I am starting with a deciduous repotting. Right here in front of us is a large twisted cedar elm. Um, I've been repotting elms for the past, month or two now. I wanted to experiment with winter repotting with some of my trees. Some of my deciduous trees. As you know, Florida temperatures are not as extreme as they are in many other places. We've only had one night where we actually got down into the 30s, but other than that, it's been pretty mild this spring and winter. So I have been repotting, testing, experimenting to see what I can get away with. This tree, however, is definitely ready to go, ready to move on to the new pot. It's 70s, 80s outside at the hottest temps, so I am getting started on this tree. And for a little bit of background, for those that don't know, deciduous trees are those trees that go dormant during the winter months. They're the trees that lose their leaves and produce buds that are going to open and create all of the new leaves and branches going into each new spring. And so theoretically, this tree is dormant right now. That window for me is very small, and like I said, we don't really experience any temperatures that many people would consider extreme that might be harmful to the roots. So I figure as long as I'm not doing too much work on them, the trees are going to be happy with their repotting. I have plenty of trees that I've already potted 1 or 2 months ago, and buds are starting to swell. So it seems like overall this is an okay practice to conduct at any time during the winter in the South Florida area, as long as your temperatures are above freezing. I have not worked with too many deciduous trees so far, so I have been purchasing up as much as I can, working them as much as I can just to get a little bit of experience with these. These cedar elms are very, very tough. From what I'm reading online, they are resistant to both drought and a lot of water, and this one was definitely sitting in a lot of water for a long time, which is why the root base is somewhat weak, I would say, for the size of the tree. But you can see that there's still plenty of fine feeder roots all over the place. It definitely wasn't anywhere near pot bound or really filling up the pot like I might expect, but there are plenty of healthy roots here, so I'm shaking out that dark nursery soil that's really, really wet, really compacted, which was part of the soil that this tree was dug out of the ground with. And I am cleaning up some of the surface roots. As you can see with my knob cutters, I'm taking out roots that are pointing up, roots that are crisscrossing along the surface, because we have this very nice nabari down here at the bottom. And so I'm going to try and kind of just shape everything so that everything is going radially, which means out in every direction towards the outside of the pot. I don't want anything crisscrossing in front of each other. And I will also have to be making a decision on this tree about chopping it down, because there is a twin trunk situation going up on top, one right in front of the other. So you will see as I look to decide which side of this tree is the front, I also go ahead and make that decision on the chop. So ultimately, I do end up deciding that this side right here is the front of the tree. I like the strong muscular vein that you kind of see heading towards the front of the tree, and I also like the movement, a lot more significant back and forth movement on this top trunk from this side, and so that was the ultimate factor in making this decision for chopping the smaller and straighter chunk. The other one is a little bit thicker, has a little bit more movement, and just I think flows better overall with the root base. Kind of has that forward movement. As you can see, it's tilting towards the left right now, which would be the front, and according to bonsai standard practices, that is kind of what you want. You want the tree coming a little bit towards you, leaning towards you when you're viewing it from the front. And I'm just going through with a root pruning saw right now. Root pruning saw, I guess it's just a regular pruning saw. And sawing through this branch. Doing a flat cut just because of the angle where the two trunks meet. Gives me very little opportunity to change the angle of the saw. And so I do one smooth flat cut all the way across this trunk. I may pick at it a little bit with the knob cutters to try and get the shape to ultimately fill in once it starts to heal, but I am satisfied overall with the flow of the trunk. As you can see, since I chopped the back trunk, you are not able to see any of the injury from my proposed front, which was also a big factor in choosing which trunk to chop. You do not want to see that giant wound in your face all the time, unless you want to make that a feature of the tree, which is a stylistic decision, of course. So now that I've made the chop, I have my proposed front. I'm going to go ahead and get the pot set up for the repotting, setting my screens into the bottom along with the wire that is going to lock the tree into place. Remember, the reason why we tie our trees into the pot is in case there is any type of accident. If the tree comes off the shelf, it's going to stay tied to the pot, tied to the root base, tied to the soil that's underneath it, and it's not going to be as destructive if the tree ends up coming off the shelf. So I am going to go ahead and just go through the rest of the repotting process now. Get the soil, get the roots, everything into the right location. I'll throw some music on and come back to you at the end for the 360. So we are back, and the tree is complete for now. Overall, I'm really satisfied with the result of this repotting. I think that the root base fits really nicely into this pot. I think that we've set this tree up for a nice future, for it to develop, and for me to kind of control the growth on the tree going forward, getting that most limiting portion of the repotting done right up front. That way we can continue to develop the tree at the top and the bottom at the same time. I hope you liked watching this video, and I hope you enjoy this tree. Feel free to give me any feedback in the comments, and thanks for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day.